Hiya Nerdsters, it's me, Will, back again. Short little break between videos, but I have information on why that happened. So, two different topics I'd like to talk about today. Basically, outline my 2016 goals and ideas for the channel, and then also talk about a new podcasting venture that I'm starting with a fellow YouTuber. So, let's get right into it off the bat. 2016, it is now the end of January, so we're already a month in. Time is flying away from me always. But really for this year, I would like to still put out content on a weekly basis. You know, my sort of realistic goal would be to put out one video every week, something along the lines of like Tuesday, Wednesdays. That's usually when my breaks from work are. But I still also want to have the sort of consistent videos that I've liked putting out so far, because I like doing the haul videos at the end of the month. I've decided that I'm going to do them at the end of every month, and I have a big old stack sitting right next to me right now to talk about for my December-January haul. And I also like doing the previews videos because I think those are kind of helpful for both me and viewers, hopefully, to see what's coming out in the future. The reality of the situation is, it's kind of funny when you start a YouTube channel. You have so many things you want to talk about, and you have all this information or ideas kind of stored up. At least I did, and I've sort of, even 5 months in, I have definitely gone through the majority of things that I really had ideas about what I wanted to talk about. So, the methodology now is basically that if I want to talk about new comics or something like that, I sort of have to sit down and chug through and read them at a pace that is faster than I normally would. I'm not like the fastest reader in the world. And so I still am bringing out reviews, and I still want to talk about reviews and stuff like that, every week, get different content out there, highlight books that I'm interested or reading at the time. But the reality is that I have spoken about most of the series that I am intimately familiar with. There's a lot more series that I've read. There's a lot more things that I want to talk about, but most of them are going to require me to do like some rereading and kind of go back and look at things again to be able to give an opinion that I feel like is somewhat helpful to anybody out there and to myself, just not to look like a total idiot. So, right now, for example, I'm going back through Sandman, but that's a 75 issue run, so it takes me a while. I don't exactly read through them at an incredibly fast pace, and I like to read a bunch of different books at the same time. So I definitely am still going to be putting out reviews. I know that most of the stuff I've been doing recently has been more haul and previews focused, because I like doing that kind of stuff. But I am trying to work out a schedule where I can get reviews and different content out the door at a good pace while still enjoying what I'm reading, not kind of pushing myself too far to either extreme. So, like I said, the 2016, the manifesto, or the goal, whatever you want to say, it is one a week, one video per week is what I want to do. Get, if I can get realistically 50 videos out into the world in a year, that would be amazing. I really think that would be something that I would be proud of, and it would give me a good portfolio, or kind of, hopefully the quality and the content gets a little bit better over time. I'm still using my iPhone and this little dangly headphone mic, so eventually we'll move on from that. But I want to put that forward as my goal and my commitment to you guys, and I've been totally blown away by everybody who consistently comments or watches my stuff, and I really appreciate it. I love talking with you guys. I mean, I know I don't get back to every comment. I try to, and I try to be helpful about recommendations and stuff. But the reality is that I am not as experienced as some other YouTubers in terms of the DC or the Marvel Universe or stuff. So I try to give recommendations when I can, but I'm not always the best person to ask, because I tend to live in my own little kind of area of comicdom, and I love talking about that stuff, and I'll try to talk about anything else that you guys are interested in, but I might not be the most knowledgeable about it. And another exciting venture, nerd venture. Oh, look at that! Another exciting nerd venture, but not in the adventure sense, in the venture sense. So nerd dash venture, not nerd venture. Not a portmanteau anymore, if you're following me. Another thing that's exciting is that I just recorded and published the first episode of a brand new podcast that I started co-hosting with another YouTuber out there known as NerdHow on YouTube. It's a Manny. And she is an awesome YouTuber. I found her stuff through, Google's YouTube. Well, I guess Google, YouTube, same thing. They're sort of algorithms for pushing different content and videos towards you. And I watched her stuff, and she has a number of videos sort of about getting into comics. She's coming at comics at sort of a slightly different perspective than I am, kind of getting into things and figuring out what to read and what she likes and dislikes. And I reached out to her because I really liked her content and I thought she was really fun and interesting to listen to. And we started talking, and basically we have started a bi-monthly nerd culture and pop culture podcast called Get a Cat, Get a Horse. I think it's going to be really fun. So far we've recorded one episode. Like I said, it ended up being quite a long episode. Just because we're figuring out format and everything like that. But we are on SoundCloud and on iTunes officially, so, you know, not like it's a big deal to be on iTunes. Anybody can submit stuff, but it makes it more convenient for a lot of listeners. So I will try to, if I can, put annotations on the screen for this part. I'm not, like, totally certain how it works, linking pictures or different websites or stuff, but if not, it'll all be in the description at the bottom of the video. You know, if you are interested in comic books, film, video games, music to some extent, but mostly more of kind of large picture nerd culture and pop culture stuff. You know, anything that you would see if you went to a Comic-Con, basically. We're trying to tackle all that kind of stuff. Amani and I are both really interested in similar things, especially film. We definitely have a strong interest in that, whether it be superhero related or not. And comic books, like I said. Basically, it's going to be a conversational podcast twice monthly, where we go over big, important kind of nerd culture and nerd world news that we find interesting. We have a discussion topic each week that we decide on beforehand, something that we can kind of bring some hopefully interesting or enlightening thoughts to. And then we also have a kind of like a listening, reading, watching section at the end, things that we recommend and things that we're checking out at the moment. I have a lot of fun doing it, at least the first one so far. We've only done one episode. The next episode is going to be, I believe, I'll focus on Grant Morrison and his new X-Men comic and kind of his ideas as a human being and as this magical, mythical man, and how it impacts our views of his comics and his work like that. So I think it's going to be really interesting. It's right now it's only the two of us hosting it, but we hope to get rotating guests in at the same time. So if you are interested, you know, in listening to a nerd culture kind of thing, or my voice and Amani's voice, which is much more exciting, I feel like it's kind of like the two different spectrums of it. You can definitely, I would encourage you to subscribe and check it out both on SoundCloud and iTunes, whatever is more convenient for you. We're definitely looking to get more listeners and to get feedback. There's a Facebook group for Get a Cat, Get a Horse. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything about the podcast, please, you know, like the Facebook group and leave us comments and questions. And we'd like to do like a little listener, I don't know if mail is the right word, but listener response section in these too. So those are basically the two big nerd ventures for this year of 2016. Committing to getting podcasts out, you know, 2 a month. So hopefully at the end of the year, something around the 25-ish mark of podcasts, and then committing to get videos out as well every month. So I'm so glad that anybody who has, you know, remotely showed interest in any of these things. I know my videos tend to be really long form and rambly, but that's the way I am as a person, and I don't want to compromise that to try to cater to anything that is not what I am, which I understand is kind of silly. You know, maybe I would get more views if I cut things down to within 10 minutes or whatever. Maybe certainly not the 50 minutes that I've been doing. But, you know, I like that kind of content. It's definitely something that I like watching on my own and I like creating. So that's certainly, I don't really see myself drastically trying to cut the format in order to gain more viewers or anything. I just really want to find people that are interested in the same kind of content and the same way of talking about it that I am. So I really hope you stick around with me for the rest of 2016. Now that we're 1 month in, I promise more hauls, more previews, more reviews, more interesting books and stuff like that. And the podcast is going to be a really fun way to get an extra dose of both Nerd Ventures and Nerd How, and just sort of, hopefully we can basically feel like that we're having a discussion and you guys are just listening in, anybody, or maybe contributing with your comments and questions. And it really, we want it to feel like an organic kind of show and not something that is just reading off bullet points or anything like that. So I really hope you check out the links in the description and like the Facebook page for Get a Cat, Get a Horse, and check it out on iTunes. And I will be back. I'm recording another video moments after I finish this one. So I hope you enjoy this content. Please, as always, give me a subscription if you like what you see on this channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the videos, a thumbs down if you dislike them or could suggest any improvements. And I would love to hear back from you guys. I'll see you in the comments. Thanks for watching.